Welcome to the Pitchable Story with Dorie Klissas, the podcast that helps leaders and organizations go from relevance to prominence through stories that break through the noise. I'm Dorie Klissas, a Chief Marketing Officer and Emmy Award winning network television producer. For over 2 decades, I've vetted thousands of pitches and crafted stories that inspire action. Today, I'm joined by someone who is redefining what it means to live boldly in your next chapter. Trica Jean-Baptiste, a hospitality and real estate executive, just launched Left the Nest International, a global lifestyle platform designed for baby boomers ready to live beautifully, intentionally, and abroad. Trica is helping people trade what's next for that's possible, creating a luxurious, slow travel experience that blends culture, connection, and purpose. From Tuscany to Portugal, Left the Nest International invites members to live, not just travel, with meaning. Trica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Dorie. It's great to be here.
Well, it's very exciting. You've got your website up. Left the Nest International will launch. And I would love for you to tell me how you came up with the concept.
Well, Dorie, I have been birthing, and that's a phrase I use a lot because it really was a labor of love. I've been birthing the platform or the idea of the platform for the past 5 years. And it really began during my own journey, sort of a major change, life change, personally and professionally. And as I looked around for what was next and what that would look like for me, I couldn't find anything. All I knew at that time was I wanted to travel authentically. I wanted to experience various destinations as a local, as I sort of redefine what the next chapter would be for me. And so in just kind of looking around, hospitality products, slow travel products, membership programs, it just didn't exist in the way that I needed it to exist. And I began to speak with friends who are also baby boomers and discovered that everybody was on the same journey. And so a friend of mine said, you know what, it doesn't exist. Why don't you create it? And so Left the Nest really began at that point in terms of just cultivating a platform that spoke to all of us.
Tell us about the platform. It gives a lot of freedom to your clients to travel slowly. So, what does that mean? It's a membership based platform. So, describe it.
Exactly. So it is, as you say, a membership platform, and it encompasses international destination, although we do have one US destination in the program. But it is an annual membership program that enables our members to choose from our selection, and we very carefully curate it, if you will, destinations and private residences for members. So, for 1 year during their membership, they can choose where they would like to stay. And what that would look like, it could look like a month in Tuscany, another month in Portugal, and then Bali. Whatever they want to do, that is available to them. But the most important element of that platform is that we have what we call the Boom Squad. And these are boomers, facilitators, if you will, and their job is to work with the members to create their experience for that entire year, the entire duration of the membership. And so that facilitator is with them from beginning to end. And so it begins with an evaluation. Where are you? You know, we want to meet our members where they are. Where are you in your life journey? What are you trying to accomplish? And, you know, at this point, I just want to also say that this isn't a coaching program. We're not sort of coaching people through next chapters. This is really just about living authentically abroad. And so the platform, going back to your question, it's an annual membership. You have the choice of various destinations within the program. In addition to that, there are membership benefits such as telehealth, and this is all included in the package. So it's one fee annual, choice of any destination. Everything is included. So there are no charges per night, per room, per month, none of that. It's all one price. You get telehealth. We also include a subscription to Tax Day. And Tax Day is an app that enables you to calculate your taxes in various destinations. And then the other app we include is an app called Smart Assets, which is basically a financial tool. And so this is all, again, one membership. Now, all inclusive. At the end of that membership, members can decide to renew, or if they find that they really love a destination and they would like to invest there, we can help them with that as well on the real estate side of it. And so, to just kind of to paint a clearer picture of what this is, a really good friend of mine, Abby Ellen, a great author, said to me, well, this is really a gap year for baby boomers. And I think that's the perfect way to describe it. So, yes, that's left the next generation.
Tell us about the baby boomers that you see. These are your clients. What are we seeing with them that's maybe different than what they wanted to do with retirement in the past?
Well, for one thing, there are so many. There's something like 72 million in this country, right? And the statistics say that 10,000 boomers will turn 65 every day. That is phenomenal. And they are the wealthiest group in the country. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because boomers are either at the end of their career or winding down in from their careers. And many, if they have children, the kids, as I like to say, are off the payroll. And so they have disposable income. And so at this point in their life, they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. And what we found, and we spent a lot of time going over data and statistics, and I was just blown away, Dory, by the numbers, by how much wealth this group holds, that it just totally makes sense to create this platform. And so the other phenomenon that we've been seeing, there are a couple, there's sort of this phenomenon that people have named the gray divorce, and that's boomers divorcing in their 60s, right? And then boomers downsizing, getting out of the housing market and selling their homes and opting to just rent or travel. And so, again, it left the nest was ripe for this time. And so the statistics and what we've been seeing and hearing on the ground through social surveys we've conducted has just been phenomenal. And it really is an exciting time to be a boomer.
And but in this experience that you're offering is different than nightly stays where you have to pay by night or even monthly, right? They're able to live in a slow travel environment and go from place to place. And it sounds like it's a unique product.
It's very unique in that we carefully, I personally selected the residences. And these are homes that are not available through Airbnb or Verbo. These are private homes, and the owners have graciously left the nest to integrate their homes into our platforms. And so the homes are located in just some of the most amazing locations. In Tuscany, for example, in medieval villages, some in structures or buildings that date back to the 15th century. So you're living right in the midst of history. So we took special care to make sure that there was a historical aspect to where those residences were located, as well as things that appealed to boomers who are very active, by the way. So nature was important, seaside, hiking areas, cycling. Tuscany is known for cycling, as well as all of the fun things, art, cuisine, of course, wine. And so, yeah, it's much more. It isn't a hotel. We're not trying to do that. Our members are well traveled, and so they're not looking for that. They want to live authentically.
And with a purpose, you say, and your boom squad, I know that you're not coaching them, but yeah, the decision to where the villa is located in the country, right? That's giving them a purpose, as you just
We want
described.
to know what speaks to them, and that's why early on in the conversations, the valuation, having that facilitator or boom squad member uh, deal directly with the member, their potential members at this point, to really understand where they are in their life and in their journey. And based upon that, working with them to create their experience that entire year and destinations that meet their personal and lifestyle preferences.
And Tuscany, I know why you chose Tuscany, but tell me about some of the other locations. They're just as
Well,
lovely.
Amalfi Coast, we find that Americans love all things Italy. So Italy, we really just spent a lot of time curating that. Uh, the other locations, Portugal, along the sea, Todos Santos in Mexico, another very popular destination among the baby boomer sector. Florence, St. Bart's, Paris, Dublin, Ireland is another. And again, we did a social survey. We surveyed potential members to just ask, where do you want to go next? Where would you live if you could live abroad? And these were the destinations that came back. Bali is another.
And with your research, I know you did quite a bit. People think that boomers are slowing down now. You found something different, correct?
Oh, very different. First of all, people are living longer. I heard another study recently that the average age life expectancy is 87. So if you're in your 60s, you're looking at another 2 decades of life. And thank
Thank goodness. Thank
goodness. Thank
goodness.
goodness. And for the life of me, Dorie, I don't get why there isn't more attention paid to this group, even in terms of marketing. We're living longer, we're active, we're fit, we're healthy. We have it going on. And so, I think it's definitely a movement. And I think people are beginning to look at boomers quite differently.
And you have had a tremendously long career in luxury hotels, the hospitality business. How has that career influenced sort of this next step for you? What are you bringing from your career that can help your clients
You're
now?
right, it has been long. And it,
No disrespect. No disrespect.
and it's so true. I'm a boomer. I'll say it. I'm very proud. I'm a proud 63-year-old. And I have been very fortunate to have had a career in hospitality um, that has seen many transitions from being on property to running a PR firm to moving into real estate in the capital markets. And the thing that I believe shaped me personally and professionally was travel. Travel is a gift, and it is transformative. And it's something that stays with you your entire life. And so I've been really blessed to have had the most amazing experiences traveling. And I believe that all of that experience in the past has brought me to this point. And so those of us in travel or who have traveled extensively, we view the world very differently.
And as you bring your clients in, they start experiencing this. It are people primed for a reinvention? We talked about it a bit, but perhaps people haven't traveled before, and this could be their first year abroad, right? This could change their life if they just take a
If
leap.
they just take a leap. So, what's unique about Left the Nest International? We have support on the ground. And so, it's not again a typical hotel experience where there's a concierge and packages are put together. It's not that. Um, they are immersed in local community. And so there's a community of people that they get to meet who are welcoming. Again, we were very intentional in identifying destinations, villages, and cities where people were welcoming. And so they're just going to have this experience that they would not typically have if they were part of a tour group or staying at a hotel.
And your journey, really transforming sort of your future with this endeavor. How much courage and personal commitment did it take to birth this idea?
I don't know who said this, and I'm paraphrasing. Someone said the best ideas are born out of demand or need or lack, if you will. Um, and so I don't believe, well, I know I would not have come up with this idea or platform had I not been in the position of going through a major life change. And so it has changed me personally. And I think, definitely in a good way. The takeaway for me is just recognizing that there's so many chapters left to experience and to be written. And this is really the best time in life, no matter how you get there. It really, truly is the best time in life. And I'm really embracing that. And that has been the takeaway for me is just enjoy and embrace the journey.
Well, Trica, tell us about that personal life change.
Okay, so for me, that life change was major. It was leaving a marriage after multiple decades. My son had long left the nest. And so I was in a position where, like many women, for the first time, the decisions that I had to make were all for me and by me, as opposed to careers, building a career, running a home, marriage, mothering. The first time this was all about me. And so it just left the nest just seemed organic at that point. And as I said, I found going through that life change that I wasn't the only one. In referencing back to the Great Divorce, there were many other boomers in my position going through a similar change.
Well, you wanted to be able to go to Europe and live in a beautiful chateau in a nice location, but do it slowly. So tell me about this slow travel phenomenon that's happening right
So
now.
slow travel, it is a phenomenon and really a movement. I use that word a lot. It is really just taking your time. There are no schedules. There's an itinerary if you want there to be an itinerary, but it's more intentional travel. You're there to learn, not only about the local community, the destination, but really about yourself. And it's just really taking the time to look at all of the beautiful surroundings. And I can speak to this because I did that this summer in Tuscany. My days were, for instance, on a farm, helping friends with their gardens, just sitting around in these amazing, amazing villages, having dinner al fresco, just slow, just really being intentional and connecting with people. It's really about connection, Dory.
Do you think it's hard for people who travel to kind of find a location they can stay 3 months at? I mean, it sounds like it's challenging. So here you're kind of giving them that opportunity. What have you found? That is it just easy to find something if you wanted to?
It's for me, I believe because I've been doing it for so many years, I have an international community um, that has been in place for a while, so it wasn't difficult, but for other people, it is. And that is the goal of Left the Nest International. We're doing the work so that they can just arrive and have that experience. And so we take the worry out of everything, and there's someone there to walk you through the length of your membership. And so you're never alone. You're not in a village by yourself. Whatever you want to do during that time, the facilitator can help make that happen.
And I know healthcare is part of your package, or at least navigating.
Telehealth, yes, telehealth. So, as we age, that becomes very important. And so, again, just thinking back to the elements of travel that were important to me and to others, quite frankly, being away for so long, what is it that you need in order to make that slow travel experience hassle free? And so we took care of trying to imagine the needs of our members.
Well, making a leap from a marriage to being an independent person, and all of a sudden you're coming up with company ideas for the future. But how hard was it to leave that marriage and start something new, all kind of independently?
Life is hard, right? And throughout our lives, we make tough decisions. And and again, there's so many people in this situation or who have gone through similar situations. It comes up to a point where you have to really consider happiness, what makes you happy, and what speaks to you. And some people arrive there quicker than other people. So for me, it was a process. It was a process, and getting to the point of really going within and asking myself the tough questions of what the next chapter looks like and what does happiness look like within that chapter.
Well, were you um, afraid that if you went abroad alone, that you wouldn't have a community? Or what have you found when you do go abroad?
Well, I am pretty much an extrovert, so I I feel comfortable everywhere, to be honest with you. And I felt it was really very easy to connect with people abroad, especially when you're in villages. I'm not talking about cities like Rome or Milan. It's different. People are friendly, they're welcoming, they're inviting. And so it's really about when we say in our little tagline, living boldly and beautifully, that's part of it. Putting yourself out there. Having experiences that you haven't had before or that you would not embark upon, that's part of the journey. And so for me, no, it wasn't difficult, but a lot of that is past experience traveling for business.
What about the language? How easy is it to show up at a villa in a small town and go to the store and buy your bread?
It's not easy when you don't have the language. It's not difficult, which is why we're very intentional in terms of the communities we selected. They speak English, not everyone, but they do. And so you can exist for however long you decide to within that community. and have people helping you. So, no, it's always good though to have a language. And what we're hoping is our members will consider that as well. You know, it's a great thing to study Italian if you're going to be there for a bit, or Portuguese if you're going to Portugal. And so, it's really not difficult.
And how did you come up with Left the Nest International?
So,
Great name, by the way.
so my background was PR, marketing, and so that was a no-brainer. And I thought, okay, if I am just hearing about this platform for the first time, what name would resonate? And Left the Nest just seemed the ideal name. Usually we use that when we're talking about our kids leaving the nest, but in this case it's the parents or the boomers. So yeah, it was just an obvious name to attach to it.
Well, it makes so much sense that you're leaving the nest to try something new and go abroad and for this exciting experience.
And we believe that most, another way to look at it, Dory, the other thing that's been happening a lot, which we read about all the time, boomers leaving the country and moving to other destinations. And a lot of it is, for various reasons, but many find it less expensive to live abroad. And so part of this platform is you get to try on a destination before really making an investment. So if you've been thinking about relocating to Portugal, instead of running off and investing in that property, why not take advantage of Left the Nest and spend a month or two in Portugal to see if it really resonates with you?
Terrific. And, this is a podcast on the pitchable story. If you had a client joining us right now, potential client, how would you summarize this experience for them in that pitchable
Live
story?
boldly, beautifully, and authentically. And this is your time. This is your time. Leave the nest, take that leap, go discover self, and do it in the places that you've dreamed of, because this is your time. And that's exactly how I would present it.
Well, thank you so much, Trica, for joining us today. It was terrific chatting with you, and I hope to be part of your platform as well. This is very exciting. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much for your support, Dory. Appreciate you.